Welcome to the Life Coach School podcast, where it's all about real clients, real problems, and real coaching. And now, your host, Master Coach Instructor, Brooke Castillo.
Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast today. Very excited to share with you a coaching portion, I should say, edited down portion of a coaching call that I did today. We have added tons of coaching in Self-Coaching Scholars just to address our current brain situation. A lot of us have the coronavirus in our brain, meaning we're obsessing lots of thoughts about it, and we don't even have it medically. We aren't infected with it medically. We're infected with it in our brains. And I got to coach some people on it today and all of the things that are going on in our brains today. Listen, it is very important that you manage your mind. If you need coaching, get into Scholars so I can coach you. There is no reason for you to suffer. There's no reason for you to let your mind go crazy. I know that you'll be able to relate to many of the things that are said in this recording. If you want to hear the whole thing, of course, you can get it in Scholars, and I'm going to be doing several more this week if you want to get some live coaching. Let's go. Here's the call. All right. Who wants coaching? Raise your hand. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's do it.
Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
Okay, sorry for my English. I'm not like American.
Oh my gosh, but you have a gorgeous accent. So let's just all bask in it. Okay, what's happening? Tell me all the things.
I'm just like confused. I just am in this place where I can't take decision, like trying to take the right decision, mostly for my son, for me too. Okay. I have a 3-year-old son, and he just starts school, and coronavirus is coming in Argentina, and we have the dengue. So I'm like so stressful, and I just see him like he start again to need the diaper, or like he's like so anxious, and I just see myself, I can't handle it. Like
why is he anxious, do you think?
First, because he starts school and he doesn't want it at all to go, and and I hate to be there. Like I just hate to be there. Like I felt like almost I'm a mean person to put my son there. Like, I don't.
So your kids are still going to school?
Yeah.
In Argentina, they haven't like closed down the schools yet?
Yes. They're deciding this now. But I decided.
They're deciding it. Okay.
I decided that I won't put him back in school.
Okay.
Because school just started. So we are all the kids in the room and all the parents too. So I think it's too much.
Okay, so let's just take a minute. What is the thought right now in this moment that's making you feel anxious? All of you do this along with me, okay? Everybody on the call, all you people that have all your hands raised, what is the thought? What is the sentence in your mind right now that's making you feel anxious right now?
That I can't take I don't know what is the right decision.
Okay, so let's think about this thought. I don't know what the right decision is.
Yeah.
That's a sentence.
Yeah.
Of all the sentences available to you in the world, that's the one you're picking.
I'm picking this one, yeah.
Any upside to that? Any quality to that?
No, it doesn't serve me.
At all. Even the thought, there is no right decision. This is what my girlfriend, Chris Plackey, was telling me when, we're looking at all these people having to make all these huge decisions about all the things in the world right now. There's no right decision. There's just a decision. Yeah. If you think that there's a right one, then you're going to be like, I need to find out. Like, you'll Google it. Like, what is the right decision to do? Right? I mean, literally, you'll think there exists some right thing to do. There's just a decision.
Because I'm taking decision, and after I have like this WhatsApp live coming with messages and alarms, like you have to do that and to have. So it's like I feel I can just breathe and like let's just stay in the house and not seeing nobody. And
okay, so that's a decision. Now, if we stop trying to make decisions right or wrong, we can be at peace. I had a client recently say to me, she's like, it was so funny. I coached someone who regretted traveling and someone who regretted not traveling. It was like coaching them on the exact same thing, right? Or the exact opposite thing. And what I said to each of them is, you make a decision in the moment, and that is the right decision for that moment because that's the decision you made. You don't get to judge that decision in the future. There's no reason to judge that decision in the future because then 5 years from now, what would be the decision you would have made you could be like, oh, that was the wrong decision. I should have known the coronavirus is coming and then I would have done this, this, and this, and that, right? That is not useful. There's a decision you make right now and you never look back. You never try to undo a decision that you've made. You never try to label it right or wrong. There's zero upside to shoulding like that on yourself. Okay. So you're telling yourself, I don't know what decision to make and I want to make the right decision. Okay. All of you guys that are having those types of thought, there's a lot of decisions to be made right now. Make a decision and then find a way to be peaceful about it and have your own back. Don't screw yourself over in the future. You want to make sure that your future self is going to take care of you, right? You make the best decision you can in the moment. You don't get to later get more information and then be like, hey, sister, you should have made a different decision. Well, easy for you to say, you have all the context now. I made the decision in that moment for me, and now I have my own back. So is your decision to stay home and not go anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, make that the best decision you can. And don't question it. Because you start questioning it, and then you start making yourself crazy. That's the right decision. I'm not going to send him to school right now. I'm going to stay here with him. And that's it. And then you may feel uncomfortable about it, but you won't be confused. You can be uncomfortable, but don't be confused about it. Decisions are where our power is. And one of the things that I want you guys to be super careful about is when you start judging other people's decisions as right or wrong, right? When you start saying, well, they should do this and they shouldn't be doing this and they should handle this better. And you have no idea. You don't have any. I love it when people think, they know what doctors and hospitals should do. You're not a doctor. If you're not a doctor, right? You don't know. Just know what you're going to do and don't judge them right or wrong. Just judge them as they are.
Yeah, because it's exactly what I'm doing. My stepfathers and my mother, that what they should do. And
yeah, because you're like, and listen, we all want to be right. Yeah. It's ridiculous. We think, we know what should be done. Listen, people, you should be traveling. You shouldn't be traveling. You should take this more seriously. You shouldn't take this so seriously, right? We don't know. There's no right or wrong here. There is just what is, okay? We make our own decisions and we have our own backs and we have compassion for all the other humans in the world. Because when we get mad about what other people do, we are weakening ourselves because we have no control there. When we confuse over our own decisions, we're weakening ourselves. Okay. You have a lot of power in this moment to make your own decision and to manage your own mind. That's where all your power is. So in the very small arena where you do have power, don't weaken yourself, which is what you're doing with questioning your decisions and telling yourself there's a right thing to do and that you don't know.
And how do you do when I'm taking, decision, I might be uncomfortable and I have a lot of anxiety. And
me too.
And I am at the highest point now.
Although I have to say this is so funny. I say, listen, I'm anxious every day. And I know that some of y'all, this is all new. Like, welcome to my world. This is what it's like all the time. So in some ways, I do feel like very prepared for this situation because I'm okay with being anxious.
But what I don't know how to handle is the anxiety of my husband and my son.
You do know how to handle it. Stop telling yourself you don't know. That is causing you to feel very disempowered. You do know how to handle it. How do you handle the anxiety of your son? Where does that go in your model?
I will say in my circumstance.
Yeah. And you don't say his anxiety, just what he's doing. How do you know he's anxious?
The way he acts. Or
specifically, tell me.
He started to scream at night and pee on the bed, for example.
Okay. So he screams and pees on the bed. You put it in the C line. That's how you handle it. And you manage your thoughts around it.
Wow. Okay.
And whatever husband is doing, put it in your C line. Manage your thoughts about it. Take your power back. Don't let your brain go into chaos. Okay, my friend?
Okay.
You've got this. You know what you're doing. You're not confused. I promise you that. Stop telling yourself that. It's not serving you. Deal?
Yes.
Okay. Double dog dare you to take back control of your mind. All of you. All right. Let's go. What you got?
So I'm a physician, and what I'm struggling with is a lot of resentment towards all the idiots who, well, my perceived idiots, who are out and at the bars for St. Patty's Day and going to restaurants when I know what's coming, or I think I know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm going to have to go to work and be there and be dealing with this regardless of what anyone else does. And so I know that if
okay, wait. So this is, hang on a second, because this is really important for you to know that you think you know what people should be doing, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you guys can relate? Can I get an amen? We know, and they don't. Now, some of the people are probably on their phones at a bar right now on this call. And they're like, stop freaking out. It's fine, right? So here's where I went with it. I'm open to all of the possibilities because I don't have control over it, right? So I'm open to the idea, and this is kind of fun to think about. So just go with me for a minute, okay?
Yes.
I'm open to the idea that they're going to be like, we were just proving fake news. This is all just a hoax. Ha ha, funny, right? Be open to that for just a second, just a moment. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Like, we're like, you got us, right? That's one extreme. The other extreme is this is the apocalypse and we're all going to die.
I don't know that I think either of those are true, but I guess
they're not.
Be
they're not, right? They're both on the extremes. But if you can make peace with both of them on some level, then everything else in between becomes a lot more peaceful. So listen, if I thought you calling people idiots, if I thought you judging them, if I thought you knowing what everyone should do was helpful to you in any way, I would work with you on. Okay? Zero. There's zero. You calling other people idiots makes you feel terrible, right?
Yes.
It makes you feel terrible. And you feel like a victim of their behavior.
I don't usually, but in this circumstance, I really do.
Because your brain is like,
I'm at the expense of what everyone else in the world wants to do.
Right? As if you haven't always been, which is hilarious, right? This is what I think is so interesting, is like people are like, oh my God, we're going to die. It's like, hadn't you noticed that earlier before this? It was always going to happen, right? And people are like, but this and but this and but this. But it's like, also, just notice that any of those thoughts that you think about all the time are not serving you. Listen, we could wake up every day, you and I, and get on the phone every morning and talk about all the idiots and what they're doing. Every day before this even happened, right? There are a lot of people that we could call idiots who are doing it wrong.
Yes.
And then how would we feel every day?
I guess I'd feel resentful every day.
And righteous. We'd feel righteous and resentful. Yes. Yeah, right. So what is our alternative? We got to let the humans be the humans. We got to share the planet with them. Okay?
But I have to put myself at risk for them. No, you don't. I choose to put myself at risk for them. I could quit my job.
For them. It's not for them. Slow down. Like, listen, you're very righteous right now. And a lot of you are. You're very like hooked into your belief system and you're like, this is true. But it's not serving you. So here's the question. It's a complicated intellectual question, but I want you to go there. Let's just take the people in the bars right now. There's people in the bars and at restaurants right now. Okay. They're not leaving.
Right.
Okay. They're at the bars. What do you want to think and feel about them that would serve you? Your brain is like, this is a terrible exercise. I want to hate them and I want to be afraid and I want to be mad and I want to be a victim. All of you notice that your brain is doing this. Okay. Just notice and have some compassion.
I guess I want to think I'll take care of the sick people who come and I won't despise them for what the choices they've made.
That's a good step. Right? Because here's the thing. We have to let the people do the people things.
Right.
So I'm just curious, where would you be right now if you hadn't been forced to come home?
We'd be in Argentina hiding from the coronavirus because there's much less there than there is here. And I'd be...
Right? You were out in the world yesterday, weren't you?
Yes.
Being an idiot, right?
Being an idiot. Yes. But there's less there. There's less there. So, but no.
But you flew. Listen. Let's just be honest here. You flew from another country here.
Yes.
Right. And so whether you can justify it or not, or feel righteous or not, like someone else call you an idiot.
I totally want both sides. I wanted
of course, you're like,
finish
listen,
my vacation and then come home and then go back to work and deal. I know. I knew as I was coming into this, I'm like, I can't have it both ways.
People going to a bar.
I was on a plane in JFK 3 hours ago.
Right. And you're pissed off at the idiots in the bars.
I know.
But here's the thing. I don't want you to be pissed off at you, and I don't want you to be pissed off at them, because it doesn't heal anybody. It doesn't prevent anything.
And it doesn't prevent me from getting sick.
Of course not. It doesn't do any of it. Right. So that's what you have to decide. Like, humans get to do what they want, period. Even if there's rules.
Right.
Like, even before viruses, people get to do what they want. And I want to offer that that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And us judging that and making ourselves feel terrible is not in our best interest.
Right.
Because we feel righteous and we're like, we're doctors. You stupid idiots. We know what's up.
I understand what you're saying. I think with the group of physicians, when we're trying to get people to not be in big groups, we feel like we do know that there are ways to make this less devastating than it potentially could be.
Of course you do. Of course you do. If nobody touched anyone again, if we all just stayed in our own rooms, right? Literally, you do know, but you can't control the world.
You can't control that, right?
It's so disappointing. Can we all just get an amen that it's disappointing we can't control the world?
Amen.
God, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great to control the world, to fix the virus? Like, doesn't the world know that people shouldn't get sick and people shouldn't die and people shouldn't be idiots and people shouldn't go to bars and people should be, right? Doesn't the world know? They don't know. So what do we have control over? And you need to get control of your mind, because you're already out of control in so many ways. And now you're creating other ways to be out of control by not being able to control strangers in bars. You have bigger fish to fry. Right here in your own little noggin.
Right here.
Okay, so I want you to, all of you, say it together. What do we want to think about? What do we want to use our brain energy for? Tell me.
I want to use my brain energy to keep me and my family as safe as I can.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to suggest to you that the word safe is too loaded for you.
Okay. As low risk, I don't even know what the word is.
I want to recommend that you shift it to a word like healing, because I think a word like healing for you will put you in a more compassionate place, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you're at risk or safe, those words, when you're in a victim mode, are really triggering to your brain, because your brain's already in fight or flight, right? But if we want to heal, as a doctor, it's my job to heal. As someone who studied the model, I can heal my own brain and I can be a presence for other people that is healing. Going around calling other people idiots doesn't serve anyone ever. No. Especially you, because you feel terrible. And you blame the idiots. Are those the people you want in control of your emotional life? They're drunk. Right?
At bars. Like,
it's ill-advised. These are not the people.
Someone else's drink and drinking out of it.
These are not the people you want in charge, right? So there's so much serious going on. Well, these people need to, and we think if we just get mad enough that it will somehow change what's going on. It won't. It won't. In fact, coming from a place of healing compassion starts with ourselves, and then with understanding that there are these extremes of what we think we should be doing, and making peace with all of it is what it's like to be in the world. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. Okay. So if you focus on a word like healing, like my job as a doctor is to heal, and I'm not talking about necessarily medical stuff. I'm talking about all of it. Like, how can I be a healing presence right now?
Right.
That could be an amazing question for you, because the way that you're approaching safety is from a very frightened place. So I don't like that word for you because it triggers emotion that's negative. And I'm not saying don't be safe, people. For some of you, that word isn't triggering. But for her, I'm suggesting a less triggering word because it's not serving her. For some of you, the word safe is helping. But if you feel like a victim because you're not managing your mind, I want you to find the words that make you feel more powerful, because you're one of the most powerful people we have, yeah? In a circumstance like this. As long as you're not mad and victim-y.
Mad and victim-y. I'll try not to be mad and victim-y.
Just for your own sake.
Yeah.
Just for your own sake. And just notice, and you guys take the thoughts out of your brain and look at them, because I could even tell as you were saying them out loud. You could hear them out loud. They sound very different than when they're in your brain. They seem so true. And then out loud, you're like, oh, wow. Right? So make sure you get them out of your brain so they exist in a way that you can witness them. All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Who's next?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh my God. Okay. I didn't think I was going to get on. So the good thing about this happening is that I get to coach with you now.
That's right. See? Here we go.
Okay. So I traveled to your event and then I had to turn right back around and come home. I self-coached myself, came right back around, decided just to come home. And everything happening out there just made me really scared, even though I wasn't before. And I was like, if I went out there and everyone's got gloves on and masks on. And...
So let's stop for a second.
Okay.
Everything out there made me scared.
It didn't. It was my thoughts.
But don't gloss over that.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to imagine before you went out there, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts were that it wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
And that's why I decided to go in the first place.
Okay.
Like,
this is not a big deal. Yeah. And then you went outside and you thought, this is a big deal.
Yeah. Then everything happened very quickly in like the span of 2 days. And then all of a sudden it went from not being a big deal to everything is a huge deal now.
Okay, you went from thinking it's not a big deal to thinking it is a big deal.
Yes.
I just want you to own your sentences. Notice how you guys are attributing externally. You're like, come on, Brooke, it is a C. But the C isn't making you feel. It's your thought about it. Okay, so when you think this is a big deal, then you feel afraid. Okay, so what's wrong with being afraid? Tell me.
So the thing that was making me afraid was just the global economy and recession.
Listen to me, Natalie.
Nobody's spending.
What was making you afraid?
The thoughts that I was having, which I was sure.
You don't get that though. You tell me that answer intellectually, but then when I ask you about it, you go right back to the external. A lot of you are doing this. That's when you feel, you're like, and especially if you use a word like global and economy together, that's terrifying, right? You put those two together and you're like, it's the global economy that's making me afraid. But really what I want you to see is that the global economy is neutral. Completely boring, completely neutral, just is numbers.
Okay.
And then you have a thought about it. What is your thought about it?
That nobody's going to be spending any money on anything. And
okay, so let's just look at that thought.
Okay.
Nobody's going to be spending any money on anything.
Well, okay, when you repeat it back, it sounds really silly.
But listen to your brain. That's what your brain does. Everybody's going to die because of the global economy. That's where it goes immediately, right? It's very simplistic, your startling brain. So listen, even if there's like a sliver of truth in anything that you're thinking, it doesn't mean you have to think it. But when you exaggerate it and terrify yourself, nothing good happens from that, because you think nobody's going to spend any money on anything, which is clearly not true. And then you feel scared. Then what do?
Not show up how I want to be showing up, because I believe that nobody's going to spend money. Like, I'm a coach and my coaching business is doing well. And now I'm like, oh no, nobody's going to want to buy coaching now, even though
you're like, nobody's going to want help with their brain right now.
Well, that's the thing. Like you were saying, this is our time as coaches, and
my gosh.
But so I heard you say that, and then I was like, but they're going to be panicked because of all these other things, and
no, that's absolutely not true, right? People need help with their brains. Being a coach is the perfect time. But regardless of whether it's true or not, what matters is, what are you thinking? And I think a lot of times people will use stuff like this as an excuse to indulge in their fear. And the fear was there before anything happened.
Yeah.
And then we're just like, oh, now I have a real evidence for this fear.
Yeah. So I feel a bit silly, but I just feel like all the things happen and they're external things. Yeah. So my sister got laid off.
Yep.
And so she's, because of the company that she worked for was based in travel, and they're just now refunding everybody, and she lost her job. She's actually responding to it really well. Like, okay, I'm just going to go work for another company that's not suffering now, and it's going to be fine.
She's going to become a life coach.
Yeah. And I'm a career coach, and I help people find better jobs. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, yeah. I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, what are the thoughts that are, I know.
I know, but this is why I love laughing at our brains. Like, I love laughing at our brains because they go right to maiming death, right? They go right to the worst. And so I always like to open up the worst case scenario and make peace with it too. Don't be afraid of that worst case scenario. But in your case, what do you want to be thinking right now? What do you want to be believing? At least give some airtime to that, because you're not recognizing that the world isn't doing anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're blaming the world. You should be blaming your brain. Like, you got to really know that. You got to really be a hold of that, because listen, career coaching right now, are you kidding me?
What are the thoughts?
It's a beautiful thing. This is your time, right? Yeah. People are going to be looking, some people that are in certain industries, this is temporary, is my thought about it. This is very temporary, but right now it's an opportunity for you some people will get laid off maybe, and you can go talk to them, and you could be peaceful for them, and you can offer them healing, and you can offer them comfort. You can reach out to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to learn about your clients and learn about, when people are in between jobs, if you can find people that are getting laid off, why not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, then my thought is they don't have any money to pay for coaching. But,
I know, but
there's also industries.
But listen to me. Yeah. Does your sister have any money?
Yeah.
Wait, stop. Your sister has money, but you're like, they don't have any money. Nobody has any money. Nobody's going to spend any money. Just notice your thoughts. None of them are true. They're all just silly, really. And so but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Just watch your brain go there. Watch your brain do that. That's fine. The truth is, people have money. Of course they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that money they were going to spend on travel is now in their pocket.
Okay.
Am I right about that? Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People have money. Some people need career coaching right now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people need the model, and they need coaching, and they need help with their brains right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just as easy to think for me. You got to do the work so they're just as easy to think for you, but you have to practice them. And if you don't recognize that they're thoughts, you won't know to practice different ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's
I brought all of these thoughts to you, but I had other ones that I can think that are better.
Good. Tell me a couple of them.
But it's an opportunity right now.
Yeah.
There's some things are going to suffer, but some things are going to be doing really well or even better. And then it's temporary thought too. I guess I had trouble believing that. I'm like, how temporary? We're talking like a year or like 6 months, just wanting to control or wanting to know kind of.
Yeah. Wanting to control the world. I'd like to control it too. I would like to know everything. I'd like to know the right thing to do. And I'd like to control the world.
I want to know how long it's going to last, how long it's going to take for us to get back to normal.
But here's what I want to offer you guys. If you stop wanting it to end, if you stop being in a hurry for it to be over, if you stop trying to control the world, you get to explore the opportunity of what this has to teach us and what this has to offer us and what our brain will reveal to us. And so we don't want to I'll feel this through so I can get on to the better part, instead of like, ooh, what is this for? How is this for me? How can I use this? And I'll tell you, one of the things that you can do for sure is to learn how to clean up your brain. Because your brain is clever. It's like slipping thoughts in there for you to think, right? So just be aware of it. Be like, I always do this with my brain. I'm like, thought I wasn't going to see that one, did you? You thought I was going to believe that, didn't you? Like, you know what I mean? You're just like, no one's going to spend any money ever again. Really? You thought I was going to believe that one? Clever.
Well, except on toilet paper. They're still spending money on toilet paper.
People still have plenty of money, and people are spending it on toilet paper. They should be spending it on their minds, right? So just decide what you want to believe and what you want to think and where you want your brain to go and how you want to feel. And also be aware and notice that scary thoughts are going to come for sure, but just recognize them for what they are. They're just sentences. They're totally harmless if you pay attention to them. All right?
Okay.
You got this.
I got it. Thank you.
You got it. All right. Now listen, I see how many of you had your hands raised to be coached. I'm going to do a lot more calls. I'm here. I've got you. We're going to get through this. I promise. All right, my friends. Thank you so much. And I will see you on the next call. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, you have to come check out Self-Coaching Scholars. It's my monthly coaching program where we take all this material and we apply it. We take it to the next level and we study it. Join me over at thelifecoachschool.com/join. Make sure you type in the lifecoachschool.com/join. I'd love to have you join me in Self-Coaching Scholars. See you there.